Hi, I'm Tom at Just One Pack, and this is AC On, the short Alpha Clash podcast, where I'll talk all things Alpha Clash on my way to work. Today, I want to talk about awakenings, but I want to touch on a few other things first. So, the Kickstarter campaign for Cosmic Conquest has ended, and of course it has been funded for a long time. I don't know if did it take an hour to fund it? I don't know, but it funded very quickly, and we just had a bit of surge right here at the end, going up to 55,000. I was hoping for 60, just because that will bring more goodies. I was hoping for 70, but let's be real. At some point we weren't going to make that, but 55 is a very good. It's a very good set, a very good collection. I think it had a pretty good run. The expensive game pieces did not go in. The expensive being the special tokens for planets and for experience points and gambit points. However, we did get the coloured standees for your team, so I can go and pick my colour. I don't mind that at all. So that was probably my favourite stretch goal that we did reach. Anyway, now it's just all we have to do now is just to wait. I think the plan says September as a shipping day. Now a shipping target, so maybe we can all, with a little bit of luck, and they have delivered quite well on these targets, with a little bit of luck we can get to have the board game as an early Christmas present. So I'm loving that. So other than that, I want to talk about the awakenings. So in last week I was talking about a chat about these event cards that would come along with even awakenings. I'm saying even awakenings because the tiers, the different competitive tiers for Alpha Clash, is a 4-step tier. I think I've mentioned this in the podcast previously. If I haven't, let me know. I'll do one. There are four steps and 4 tiers of competitive play. And the lowest one of these, the lowest competitive play, the lowest tier, is tier 1. And the competitive play there is called an awakening. Now, what's special about this awakening, and that we haven't seen before, and which excites me quite a lot, is that we are for the first time having awakenings in Europe, sort of broader Europe. Since there are 2 awakenings in the Leaky Teacup in the UK. It's in the Midlands, so I think it's called the Midlands up there. Anyway, they are having an awakening in both the summer and in I think late October, I think. Anyway, July and I think October. And if I, by any way, can make it there, I'm going to pop over and see what it's all about. But that did make me curious. How far would my playgroup be from having an awakening? So I've looked into it. I've been studying for the level 1 judge exam before, and life happened. So I know that is a part of it. You need to have a judge in order to have a competitive. In order to have a competitive event, but what else is the demands on this? So I've been looking into it, and if you take nothing else away from this, then my best advice is get a level 1 judge certification, grab a couple of mates and go. Because here's the deal. In order to have an awakening, you of course have to have a judge. We already touched on that. I'm going to talk just a little bit more about the judge program in a bit. But the other part of it, the Awakening event itself, is really shining through how low barrier it is. If you go into the tournament manual and start looking at what are the actual requirements for an Awakening event, if you have a game store or if you're connected to a game store, having an Awakening requires you to, one, go and apply for having events, which you do on Clash Grounds, the play.alphaclasstcg.com site. Under events, you can go in, you create a profile, and you can submit this request for holding events, for having events. You need to do that, and you need to get an approval for that. As far as I can see, the requirement is that you are a game store. As far as I can see, you don't even have to have the product on shelves in order for you to have an event. You can just have an event and then decide if you want product on store. You need to have enough to support to do price support, but other than that, you don't need to have it as a part of your daily sales or your daily materials. So you can just have enough to have the event. Also, you of course need the judge, and then you need to have you need to set a date so that it can be published. There are a few requirements you need to take into account, things like how long plays will be, and how long rounds will be, and how you will sort those rounds by which method you will have and what kind of tournament you will have. But for Awakening, that typically means 1 hour per round, and it means constructed play. All of this is already in the manual. Now, one of the things that sort of make me hesitant, other than I don't have a local game store for this, is what if I do not have enough participants? Now, the thing is, there is for tier 2 and up, there's a minimum requirement for the number of participants. For tier 2, it's 8 people. So if you can get 8 people to Clash Ground, which is the tier 2 level event, if you can get 8 people, you can have a Clash Ground. But for tier 1 events, which is the Awakening and even Rivalry Kids, is sort of grouped into the tier 1. If you want to have one of those, as I said earlier, grab a couple of mates and go. The manual itself prescribes what you should do in your Awakening, in your tier 1 competitive tournament event, if you do not have enough people to do a round robin tournament style, where you sort of meet everyone. Right? Oh, sorry, a Swiss pairing, where you play everyone and then makes a top 8 or top 4 out of that. So, if you're curious, how few people, what's the lowest number of people you have to do a Swiss pairing? Well, the number is 4. So, if you're 4, you have to run it like a Swiss pairing. But if you're less than 4 for a tier 1 event, that means 3 or only 2 people, technically speaking, you could still have an Awakening. You just go by a different method. And that to me was sort of, in lack of a better word, a sort of an Awakening. that the bar for doing awakenings is so low that not having them, if you are playing them regularly at your game store, not having awakening just doesn't make sense. It is the high bar for that is literally to get hold of a judge. I don't think there is any other limitations to this for you. So get a hold of a judge, get someone to study it so that they can become a judge, and then go apply for it. Now, what you get out of an awakening out of this tier 1, well, if you're in early enough, I don't know if you can still make it this year, you get the event cards with your game store logo on them, all of that jazz. But what the winner does is get an invite for the tier 3 and 4, or at least tier 3 events. So technically, if you have someone that is good at the game at your store, having an awakening allows them to gain an invite to a higher tier of competitive play, something like the Pro Tour. And if they need that, the bar is very low again. So I've been waffling on about this idea of getting a level 1 judge. Now, how do you do that? Well, in order to become a level 1 judge, you have to pass a certification. What you need to do is familiarize yourself in some detail with the tournament manual and, of course, the comprehensive rule book. And then there's a questionnaire, a multiple choice questionnaire you have to go through and submit. There are 27 questions and you need to get, I think, 21 of them right. No, I don't think. It is 21. At least 21 right. In order to pass the exam. Now, you can, of course, lose it if you act like a complete moron. But for everyone I met playing Alpha Clash, that is really, really not an issue. So go read up on it. The rule book is far the hardest thing to read and to understand and comprehend enough, but it's by no stretch an impossible task. Now, one more benefit. If you are thinking, well, let me get a level 1 judge certification, let me set up this game at my local game store or community center, wherever you play, but wait a minute, then I can't play. And I want to play. I want to be a part of the awakening. Well, then you're in luck. Because at tier 1, again, I can't stress this enough, the bar is really, really low, meaning it's very accessible. At tier 1 events, like the awakening, the judge and the other staff members, like store personnel and scorekeepers, can participate. At level 1, at Awakenings, everyone can participate, meaning everyone. Participants doesn't have to... You can walk in from the street, there's an invite thing in that. You earn invites from tier 1s, but judges, store personnel, scorekeepers, everyone, everywhere, can participate in it, which is really, really cool. That, again, lowers the bar for how hard it is to set up. And if you are the one burning for this game and you want to set this up, you don't have to miss out. You do have to conduct yourself fair. If you lose a game, you lose a game. Don't lose your shit. But other than that, go for it. You can be a part of it. As all of this, of course, is by the rule books that I've read so far and the tournament manual. That may change in a future setting, but for now, that is what I've researched. Anyway, that was sort of what I want to go and say. I am currently studying to see if I can if I can do a certification for level 1, and if I do, I'll let you know. Other than that, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.